They affect us all. And so, tonight on Second Nature, we'll be recycling some old nature footage.
Folks, what are we doing here again? Oh my goodness. Yesterday, we had the Nick Bravo. This is where Vonhelton's talking shit about Nick Bravo. Nick Bravo, actually, I'll give him credit. He made a response video. We got to get that to Von's attention. I don't think Von realizes it. We got to get that to Von's attention. But folks, there was some breaking news in the wee hours. Now, I know a lot of people coming here have probably watched it, but I know many have not. This is fresh, folks. I want to thank you for joining me this morning. This is so fresh, it's still processing. I'm having trouble downloading it. Now, I have done a screen capture. We're going to watch from Vonhelton's channel. The video is called What If? If the commie Canadian internet starts derping out on us, I haven't rendered the screen cap that I took, but we can watch it in the editor. If we're gonna watch this. We gotta watch this. This is another Heineken Sunrise, folks. So glad that I saved a couple. It deserves it, folks. As the title suggests. And by the way, happy Father's Day. I'll drink to that. Folks, happy Father's Day to all the good fathers out there. But it seems Vonhelton's children have spoken. What you might be asking, Secular, what are you talking about? Well, we'll get to that. This morning, folks, it's all killer, no filler. I don't even know what the first half hour of this live stream that he did. We're going to start at the 29-minute mark. He talks some shit about Ms. Parker and a couple other lousy things, but within 3 minutes, he gets to it. And then it just digresses from there. Folks, let's back up a little bit. Let's back up. Actually, earlier in the evening last night, Vonhelton tried to do a live stream. He wanted to talk about Buzz Aldrin or some bullshit. And J-Dubs and Lion King came and basically took over the stream and did a cooking thing. So they were cooking steak. It's a whole ordeal in itself. And Vonhelton kind of got a bit pissy and decided to take his ball and go home and said he was crashing for the night. Wasn't sure if he was coming back, but I had a feeling he was going to come back, and boy, did he. And untethered, he spilt the tea. Folks, we're going to need some paper towels this morning. There's going to be a lot of tea getting spilt right here in a few minutes. Now, I also want to back up because he had mentioned in that stream, and he mentioned it in another one too recently, that something happened Friday that was bad outside of like the internet, but he didn't want to talk about it. He was going to talk to John or whoever in private. And it was something he wasn't happy about, but he didn't want to talk about. Well, he got up this morning and felt compelled to talk all about it, folks. And we got it for you right here, folks. Thank you for joining me. Just looking at all who's here. Oh, hamburgers. Annoying soft nerd. Went by too fast. Coming for doll. Prairie Queen. Mr. United, of course. HD. Old bats. Oh, hamburgers. You crazy fuckers. What are you doing up this side? Side chain Blaine, of course. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, everybody. Please thumbs up the video. Let's get into it. Let's go. I know it's muted. It's muted.
Back. For those of you that don't know, he's back.
We got it. We got it.
He is uploading videos. He just got through uploading a video. He used to.
There we go.
And if nobody shows up 15 minutes prior to the live show, he shuts it down and calls it a day.
He's talking about Brett Keane.
So,
no one cares.
Brett was a maverick. Brett still is a maverick. Brett still is a maverick.
I need G-Man. Someone get a hold of
Brett
G-Man
still is
now.
a maverick.
Vonhelton's former children donated $5 through Super Chat. We would like to wish a happy Father's Day to our daddy. Our new daddy. Not you, Vaughn. You can just sit there for in you poopy trailer.
Goddamn internet!
Devil's Reject has just donated £1.99 through Super Chat.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Derp. But yeah, I mean, anybody that's got rock solid proof that Ms. Parker is female from birth, first of all, you need to tell the trans community, because they have, it has come to me that they are asking legitimate questions. And number two, I would like to have copies of said information because I don't have any. Isn't it funny, though? I mean, think about this. Isn't it funny that to date, none of her troll buddies have come to her defense? Not one. Not one. Not one of her troll buddies has come to her defense in this regard. Why is that? Oh, could it be because these allegations are true? Yeah, it is. Let's be honest, folks.
Let's be honest, folks. It's just so ridiculous. I don't feel that it needs addressing, but I mean, it's... Anyways.
If Miss Parker really was female from birth, all of her troll buddies would be coming to her defense, yet they're not. Not one.
I mean, I never met the woman in person, but as far as I know, she's female. I mean, if she wasn't, I don't really get the point of all this. I don't get it.
Not one. Okay. So that really pretty much nails it for me. All right. Vaughn, do you still have that little cube camera, and do you plan on vlogging again? This little guy? Yes, I still have it. Yes, I do. I still have it. You know why I stopped doing the die-cast racing, right? Because the trolls were going to flag me for COPA violations. They were literally going to take down my channel. Now, would the COPA violations be true? But no, they wouldn't. But does YouTube give a fuck about the truth? No. No, they don't, do they? Okay, so, I didn't want to lose my channel. At least not yet, anyway. But yeah, that's why I stopped with the diecast racing, because all my fucking haters were going to false flag me for COPA violations. That's why I stopped doing that shit. And that really upset my kids. Did you know that really upset my children? It did. It really upset my children. But see, we're so concerned about Vaughn's children. The fuck they are. The fuck they are. They don't give a damn about my kids. Which is interesting, because that's a great lead-in as to what my little what-if is about. So. Does anyone know what Brett's new channel is? Yeah, I'll give you a link to it. Happy Father's Day. No, it's not. No, it is not. If it was a happy Father's Day, my children will be here and they would be celebrating Father's Day with me. Then it would be a happy Father's Day. So no, don't even say that shit around me. It is not a happy Father's Day. What is my record bench press? Fuck, I don't remember. I think I remember for my legs, it was 750 pounds. And for my arms, I think it was like 350 pounds.
You hear that shit?
But,
Did you hear that? 750 pounds with his legs and 350-pound bench press. The welterweight champion. Folks, this is absolutely ridiculous. It's funny because later on it comes up again, and it just shows...
Damn internet!
Devil's Reject has just donated £1.99 through Super Chat. Has Vaughn had a YT banned in the past?
I think he got in trouble over some of his Muslim stuff. I don't know if he was necessarily banned, but he got a channel terminated or he took it down. He got butthurt about it, but... yeah.
Oh, it was so fucking long ago that, those are guesstimates at best.
Right. So I was saying this comes up later, and it just shows you how absolutely gullible and naive Vonhelton is, where he got those numbers from. So, anyways.
What if Professor X and Magneto had switched roles? Yeah, something like that. Right. Yeah, it's a what if scenario. Exactly. Something like that. What if Professor X and Magneto had swapped roles? Right. Some along those lines. What did I do last Father's Day? I was by myself last Father's Day. And the Father's Day before that. And the Father's Day before that. I have not celebrated my children's birthday in 3 years. I have not celebrated a Father's Day with my children in 3 years because CPS keeps taking my fucking kids and keeping them for half a year, year and a half, 2 years, 3 years now. You know, now there's been little breaks in between there. I'll give you that. You know, a few weeks in between. But here comes CPS with another fucking stupid ass excuse to take my children away.
And there's Vonhelton for the last how many years collecting fucking checks, even though the kids weren't in his custody, technically.
Now, I
think we call that double dipping, folks.
Children being abused? Are they being mistreated? Are they being beaten or locked in a cellar or burned with cigarettes or you know, beaten?
This is the standard that he has in his mind, right? This is the standard that would actually rationalize state agencies. Keep in mind, folks, this was not trolls on the internet. This was a school and the state. The kids, okay, and listen, it sounds funny, but it's the truth. The kids stunk so bad, they felt it necessary for the state to intervene multiple times. Just putting that out there. And yes, you did lock your kids in a room with no stimulation. They pissed and shit down vents. Oh, but he covers all that too, folks.
Beaten to where they're almost a bloody pulp. No, actually, my kids love their daddy. Well, they did. They don't anymore because CPS doesn't bother them when they're out in Williamsburg. Wow, isn't that amazing? See, when they're here home with their daddy, CPS goes to the schools. They go to Burning Springs or they go to Oneida School and they yank the kids out of class and ask them a bunch of stupid-ass questions. And so then when the kids go back to school, back into the classroom, they don't know what the teacher said. So Friday, when it comes to take a test, they can't pass the test. They flunk the test because they don't know what the fuck the teacher said in class. Because CPS yanked them out of class to ask them a bunch of stupid-ass questions. Isn't that interesting? But see, they're not harassed by CPS when they're in Williamsburg. They're not harassed by CPS. So guess what they're getting in Williamsburg? Oh, they're getting straight A's again. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that a coincidence? They're getting straight A's. Yeah, they are. And of course, in Williamsburg, they've got children to play with, dogs to play with, toys to play with. They've got a TV in their bedroom. TV in their bedroom. And the only chore they have is to make their bed.
I love how he talks about things like having friends and like engaging them and spending time with them. And, you know, giving them clean clothes and their own bedroom and space. Like, these are things to him that are just foreign cons. These are luxuries, which is pretty ironic because you know goddamn well Vonhelton growing up, the 57-year-old man-child who is still suckling at his 94-year-old mother's teat, living... Oh, there's another slip. I hope we catch it later, too, that I want to point out. That's kind of important on that. But he just can't fathom the thought that his kids might deserve these things in life. That he might actually be responsible for providing these types of things. And oh shucks, who'd have thunk that when they're actually put in an environment where they're thriving, again, remember when they were kids, failure to thrive was the charge. And it was demonstrable, it was proven that when not in his custody, the children thrived. Folks, I digress. Sorry.
Well, hell, who wouldn't like a scenario like that?
Yeah.
If you're a kid. Hell, if I was a kid, I would like a scenario like that.
Like he never
I mean,
got
come
any
on,
of
let's be
that.
honest, right? If you were a kid, you wouldn't like a scenario like that? Of course you would. You would love that. You'd eat that shit up. You'd be like, fuck, man, that's great, right? Right? Let me fix my necklace here. But yeah, I mean, if you're a kid, you're going to love a scenario like that. That'd be like a 5-star hotel to me and you, right? Right? Fuck yeah. It'd be like a five-star hotel to us. I mean, think about it, man. They ain't got to pay for the hotel either, right? They ain't got to pay a dime, right? Yeah.
Why would they? Why would these children, these minors, be required to pay for things like clean clothes, clean beds, actual engagement with other children, friendship, being shown kindness, not being called dumbasses, being fed regularly? Wow, the kids today, folks, you just got to shake your head.
Why do boomers hate TVs in the bedroom? Because we're not really used to it. That's why. Yeah, I was a power lifter, Dan. That's what power lifters do. We lift large amounts of weight. I had this big ass belt, man, that was about this fucking wide, and I wore that son of a bitch around my waist at all times. Okay? That's what power lifters do. They lift huge amounts of weight. That's why they're called power lifters. Wow, what a shock. Amazing. Amazing. But anyways, okay, enough with the damn Space Invaders bugs. Okay? That's not really helping. Anyway, but yeah, the thing of it is, when you approach the children, and the children have been away from their daddy for upwards of 2 to 3 years, what does that do? What was the purpose? What's the purpose of keeping kids away from their parents for years on end? Oh, the kids get accustomed to being elsewhere, don't they? Yeah. Isn't that the whole damn point of doing that, is to keep them, to get them accustomed to being somewhere else away from their daddy? Yeah, that's the whole point of it. That's why they keep them away for years on end. That's the whole point of it, right? And so now the kids are like, well, hell, we're not harassed by CPS when we're in Williamsburg. We got kids to play with. We got toys to play with. We got animals to play with. We got a TV in our bedroom, and the only chore we got is to make our beds, and we ain't got to pay a dime for any of it.
Kind of like Vonhelton.
Who wouldn't like that scenario?
Who doesn't make his bed, by the way.
Who wouldn't like that scenario?
The kids are actually meeting a bare minimum requirement that Vonhelton, he himself, cannot even match.
I need G-Man. Someone get a hold of G-Man now.
Mr. Unite for the Children donated $5 through Super Chat. He should sue the state for spoiling the kids to turn them into communists. And he wore the powerlifter belt at all times, lol.
I think he should wear the powerlifter belt when he takes them to court. Anyways.
Especially the part about CPS harassing the fuck out of them, right? Right? Yeah. See, they can go to school in Williamsburg and not be harassed by CPS. CPS isn't going to the school and yanking them out of the class every 5 fucking minutes. Not only that, but Clay County CPS can't go to Williamsburg and harass them anyway because it's out of their jurisdiction. Because they're in Clay County and Williamsburg is in a different county. Williamsburg's way out in western Kentucky anyway. All right, so they don't get bothered. They get left alone to be kids. See, they're not being left alone to be children when they're here with their daddy. They're harassed constantly by CPS. See, the fucking trolls and haters here on YouTube don't realize what they've done. They don't realize what they've done. I'm curious to know if any of the haters knew that CPS was going to these schools and harassing my children on a daily basis. I wonder if the trolls and haters knew that.
This is where he starts getting hot, folks. He starts getting a little hot.
And like I said, that bitch in Burning Springs totally lied about him having bugs. It was a total lie. But here comes CPS with the cops, right? Any excuse they can to, by the fucking gods, take them goddamn kids away from that evil Vonhelton guy, right? And so now the kids are like, hey, we're not being harassed by CPS. We got all this stuff to do. Why come home? Why even bother coming home? Wasn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Keep somebody's kids for 2 fucking years. 3 years now. Oops, sorry. They're not going to want to come home, are they? No. No, they're not. Especially when they're not being harassed by CPS every fucking day of every goddamn week. Right? Yeah. But it couldn't be by design. Oh, no. Because it's all because of that Vonhelton is just so evil. Well, now, wait a minute. The kids are already in foster care. So what's your excuse now, dumb fucks? What's the excuse now? Oh, there isn't any. Yeah, fucking bitch comes right in. She comes in with a brand new fucking case plan, hands it to me and says, yeah, we're gonna keep your fucking kids another 6 months, Bon. We're gonna keep your kids another 6 months, Bon. Why? Because the kids are in danger? Are the kids gonna die? Are the kids being harassed or anything? No. They're already in foster care, bitch. What's your excuse now? Oh, because we fucking can. And because we fucking will. The last thing you ever want to do to a child is call CPS. That's the last thing you ever want to do to any child. And speaking of Brett Keane has a lot to say about this. You know how? I know? Because Brett Keane grew up in foster care. And he's got a lot to say about it. And you ain't going to like anything he says, I guarantee. I guarantee you won't like anything he says. It's hell. It's literal hell. Imagine being stripped away from your brothers and sisters, your mother and your father. You're carted off way out there in bumfucked Egypt somewhere. You never see your brothers and sisters ever again. You never see your mother and father ever again. But that's so much better, right, trolls and haters? Yeah. That's just so much better. Those kids are just so much better now. Of course, at least now my kids aren't crying to want to come home. So I guess there's that. Right, guys? You know, they're not crying wanting to come home now anymore. Well, Dad, my friends are in Williamsburg. And I'm not harassed by CPS in Williamsburg. And I'm back to getting straight A's again, Dad. So I want to stay in Williamsburg. Because if I come home, CPS is going to go to the school and yank me out of the class every fucking day so that I get an F. And so the teachers start yelling at me and the principal yells at me and the gymnasium teacher yells at me. Everybody yells at me because I'm getting shitty grades because CPS keeps yanking me out of the motherfucking classroom. So I want to stay in Williamsburg. I want to stay in Williamsburg. I don't want to come home, Daddy. Because CPS will harass me if I do. CPS will harass me if I come home. Yeah. CPS will harass me if I come home. So I don't want to come home, Daddy. I want to stay in Williamsburg. I got friends now. I mean, think about it. They've been there in 3 fucking years. You don't think they're going to build up friendships up there in 3 years? Fuck yeah. You don't think that 3 years away from their daddy might give them the cause and the pause to want to stay up there? I mean, they got friends now. They're getting good grades. They're doing great, man. Because CPS isn't harassing them in Williamsburg. Right? Yeah. And they're just so much better. It's just so much better. What they don't tell these poor children, though, is that as soon as they fucking agree to stay up there in Williamsburg, here comes CPS to yank them out of there and throw them way out in the middle of Bufu somewhere with a family they don't even fucking know. They'll never see their brother or their sister or their daddy ever again. And then it takes them years.
Because I'm like a stuffed turkey for Thanksgiving. Stick me with a fork. I'm all done.
R. Azriel, Da School Road Warrior, has just donated $2 through Super Chat. Von Rage sustains me # midnight run.
Yes, yes indeed, folks. Thank you very much.
To find their brother and sister and their father. Takes them years to find them. Because that's what CPS does. CPS destroys families. I got an email from my feckless lawyer saying that now he's destroyed my family. He's gonna skedaddle. He's getting out the AO. I'm tendering my resignation. I don't know why. You never was for me anyway, you lying son of a bitch. But that's okay. I'm gonna contact the bar on his fucking ass.
So, yet another lawyer has bailed on Vonhelton. And I believe this one is probably like a state-appointed one. It's probably like a justice of the peace or whatever they call it in Kentucky. But, yeah, so his lawyer has resigned from... He's like, it's over. It's done. Yeah, someone pointed out, I don't think Von's been going to his sessions. That was part of this agreement. That's how bad he wants his kids back, folks. All he has to do is, like every other time, is go to these sessions, and he gets the kids back. So it begs the question, does he really? Is he really actually just pointing out how good they're doing now, so that people don't have to worry, and eventually he just won't talk about them anymore? Except, of course, to exploit it for victimhood, right?
Right.
And I, for one, am glad to hear that the kids are doing well.
Right. Vaughn, I'm just a girl who needs a friend. Narcissistic's playground. When you get them back, Vaughn. Are you fucking high? Have you not heard a single fucking word I said? They're not coming home. They don't want to come home. I'm not getting them back. CPS just handed me a fucking piece of paper saying they're going to keep the motherfucking kids another goddamn 6 months. Have you not cleaned the wax out of your ears, dude?
You notice that he never, ever, I pointed this out earlier, but he'll never say the kids. It's always the goddamn kids, the motherfucking kids, the cocksucking kids, the fucking kids. The fucking kids, the fucking kids. Like, it's very telling, folks.
Clean the fucking wax out of your ears. They're not coming back. The trolls are correct. They're not coming back. Because they've now been brainwashed into believing that Williamsburg is a safer environment for them than their own goddamn father. So no, they're not coming back. The trolls are right. They're not coming back. First, I lost my wife. These fucks are insane. The messages are back there on that other computer to prove it.
Folks.
So first, I lost...
Can we drain Lake Alice? Can we get there? We got 1,291 days.
Because I'm like a stuffed turkey for Thanksgiving. Stick me with a fork. I'm all done.
Bandit has just donated $2 through Super Chat. Everything he's saying is completely damning to him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, totally. Folks, this is, listen, again, I'm just the guy who leads the ponies around the ring, right? For the show. This is the show, folks. These are his own words, but yeah, if you revel, and if you are the type of person, I'm just saying, if there's people out there that do revel in watching Vonhelton become, completely defeated before your eyes, this is a feast. I'm just, this is, folks, this is Vonhelton's kind of admitting defeat here. But it still begs a question. Like, I don't know.
Lost my wife. Now I've lost my kids. Guess what, motherfuckers? Now I've got no reason to live. But then I also have absolutely nothing stopping me from getting in that fucking truck back there either. Do I?
Uh-oh.
No, I fucking don't.
Uh-oh.
No, I don't. Do I?
Uh-oh. With his bad legs.
Surprise, surprise, motherfuckers. There might just be a bunch of fucking knocks on doors. There just might be. You never know. You never fucking know what might happen. But yeah, I go to London. I go to visit with my children. Oh, we're not coming home, Daddy. We like it in Williamsburg. We're going to stay. We're not coming home. We don't want to come home. We want to stay in Williamsburg. CPS doesn't harass us in Williamsburg. We're getting straight A's in Williamsburg. We got friends now. We've got children to play with. We got animals to play with, toys to play with. We can get out and actually be kids again without being harassed by the fucking government. So we don't want to come home, Daddy. We're fine where we're at. Thank you very fucking much. You know. What you want, puppy? Huh? What you want, puppy? You want to go outside? You need to go outside? You need to go pee-pee? Or you just want me to hold you? Hey, your breath don't stink this morning. What about that? So we're going to go tomorrow. And we're going to go and take care of some business. Or not tomorrow, but, tomorrow, because this is Sunday. So tomorrow, Monday, we're going to take care of some business, ain't we? Yes, we are. Yep, we are. We're going to take care of some business Monday morning, bright and early, ain't we? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Your nose.
Vaughn is so full of shit. Like, what the fuck is Vonhelton? He's going to get in his truck and knock on doors, folks. 5'2" Vonhelton's going to come for you. He's got his swollen up fucking cankles going on. All pussy and fucking... You've seen the pics. The fuck is Vonhelton going to do? He's got no guns. He gets into that here in a minute, too.
It ain't very cold, but it is moist. So that's good. When you have a dog or a cat, make sure their nose is wet and cold. Very important.
Chili dogs with the Vaughn man.
It has to at least be moist.
Fat photog, that's what I want to see next. I want to see chili dogs with the Vaughn man. That's right up your alley. Come on, work with it.
Nose has to at least be moist. Okay. Because that, if their nose is warm and dry, both, then that's not a good thing. Okay. Their nose needs to be wet and cold. Moist and cold. Right? Ain't that right, puppy? Say, yes, it does. Say, yes, it does. Yes, it does. All right, get over there, puppy dog. All right, anyway. Good morning, people. Well, all I know is what...
Someone get a hold of G-Man now!
R. Azrael donated $5 through Super Chat. Midnight breath must smell like a summer's breeze compared to that trailer.
Yeah, it'd have to be something pretty fierce to cut through, but it's possible.
There's a bar that you put your feet on, okay? And that bar had 750 wrote on it, and I pushed that bar with my feet. Now, you tell me what that is. Go ahead. I'm right here. I ain't going anywhere.
This is beautiful, because in a minute it gets answered for him.
But yeah, there was a bar. It had.
Remember, folks, there's two numbers. 750, he says he's leg pressed. And fucking 350, he bench pressed. Vonhelton. Right? Okay.
750 etched in it. And it had pedals on it. And then I pushed that motherfucker with my feet.
Mm-hmm.
So now you tell me what that means. If that doesn't mean 750 pounds, okay, what does it mean? You tell me. But it said it right on there. I remember because it was, it's right there in your face, right? But yeah, there was a bar that had 750 on there, a little plate, and then on the plate it said 750, and it had pedals on there, and then you push that motherfucker with your feet. That's what you do with it. And that's what I did with it. So now you tell me what that was. Go ahead. I'm all ears. I am all ears, bro. Hi. How we doing? Are we having fun yet? Yeah, we kind of had a what if scenario with Peter Parker, didn't we? Where he had the black symbiote suit. So we kind of had a what if there, didn't we? Yeah, we did. Kind of, sort of. Of course, as we know, the symbiote ended up landing on Eddie Brock. He ended up landing on Eddie Brock, and Eddie Brock liked the symbiote, and the symbiote liked Eddie Brock, and so they became Venom. Right? Yes. The 750 stands for the maximum amount of weight it can carry. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So, folks, if anybody's actually been in a gym in their life or did a little bit of working out, you would know what it would feel like to try to leg press 750 pounds. It's not impossible, but that's a pretty high caliber fucking lifter. And 350 pounds is, pretty superhuman. That's getting like fucking Dino Bravo and fucking those dudes, right? But anyways, Dino Bravo. Anyways, the point being, there's no way. So basically, the racks were empty, and Vonhelton was reading the maximum capacity because these obviously were like universals. They weren't free weights, right? And it must have been easy to push because there was literally no weight on it. But he was gullible. This is the thing. He's not always crazy and lying. It's a true story. He was just that much of an idiot that even as he tells it now, he has convinced himself that he leg pressed 750 pounds like it was nothing. This is why he thinks he's a fucking superhero. Folks, it gets back into some ragey shit here.
What do I mean by taking care of some business? Well, I don't know. You tell me. You know more than I do. I love how people get on the internet and they know more about my life than I do. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that just fucking amazing? They literally think they know more about my life than I do. Todd Malicote's a great example of that shit. I was in a live show talking about how I had taken broadcasting arts, 2 years, a year of radio, year of television. Here comes Todd Malicote trying to one-up me on that shit. Have you noticed that everything I talk about, Todd Malicote's right there, walking right behind me, trying to one-up me on everything I talk about? He wants that big red one really bad, doesn't he? Isn't that a sign? And isn't that a sign that he wants the big red one? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You can't type and I can't dance. So there we are. I can't dance. I can't sing. Who did that song? But yeah, the trolls are right. Kids aren't coming home. They don't want to come home. They want to stay in Williamsburg because they're not being harassed by CPS when they're in Williamsburg. Wow, what a shock. What an amazing situation that is. Isn't that something? Well, Daddy, we want to stay in Williamsburg. We don't want to come home with you. Because when we come home with you, we get harassed by CPS every fucking day, either at Burning Springs or at Oneida School. They harass us every fucking day, taking us out of class, asking us a bunch of stupid fucking questions. And then when we go back into class, the teacher yells at us because we don't know what the fuck was happening in class. And then Friday, when we take a test, we get an F because we have no idea what happened in the classroom. None. Well, isn't that amazing? Isn't that a coincidence? And then I'm sure CPS takes those Fs and throws them in front of Judge Harris and says, "Oh, look, Judge Harris, look at all these Fs they're getting. Vonhelton must be a shitty father because look at all the Fs the kids are getting." Right? Ain't that right? Don't shout me down when I'm preaching good, guys. Ain't that right? They just scoop up all them F's, take them in there to Judge Harris and say, hey, Judge Harris, look at what a shitty father Vonhelton is. Look at all these F's these kids are getting. Well, he's just the most shittiest father in the world. Right? Yeah. Isn't that right? Every motherfucker that called CPS on my kids needs their goddamn ass beat. Every single one of them. They need their ass beat. Starting with Paul Wayman and Sean Merriman. Right, guys? Yeah, absolutely. They need their ass beat. Warren L. Mason, who started this shit down in Atlanta, Georgia. That's his last known location. I heard he's a bum on the street now. Sir, kind of fitting that he would be a bum on the street after what he did to me and mine. Don't you reckon? But yeah, these guys need their ass beat. Concerned citizens need to give these motherfuckers an education. That's what needs to happen. And I guarantee you, if this shit had happened in 1970, they'd have got that education. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. None of this shit would happen in the 70s, man. No fucking way. Every one of these trolls on YouTube would have got their ass beat. It would have never fucking happened. You don't mess with people's kids, dude. Not back in the 70s. No fucking way. You'd have got your ass beat. And messing with somebody's wife, you definitely would have got your ass beat. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. You'd have got your ass beat over that. No, the kids don't have to say anything. They just go in there and show the paperwork to the judge and say, oh, look, what a shitty father. But kids, I always help my kids with their homework. I always help their kids with their homework. But they don't, when the kids testified in court that they wanted to come home, because at that time they did want to come home. Judge,
notice that Vaughn said when he used to always help them with their homework, which I don't believe for a second. But even if we give him the benefit of the doubt that he did, they were getting F's, folks. They're getting A's now, by his own admission.
Harris totally ignored it. All the prosecuting attorneys totally ignored it. All the defense attorneys totally ignored it. But yeah, the kids said in court they wanted to come home. That's what they said. Well, they ain't saying it now. They sure ain't saying it now. Hey, Dad, we got it made here in Williamsburg, man. Everything's coming up roses. So, yeah. Absolutely. Yep, here I am. Oh, Ideist, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. But anyway, I bloviated enough because we're going on 3:30 and I still ain't got around to the damn story yet. So let's get around to the story. The story is thus.
Oh, it gets better, folks.
What if my father had not died and my mother had died instead?
He's going there.
A what if scenario.
He's going there, folks. He's did this once before.
Would anything be different about my situation right now?
He has done this before, folks.
If my father was alive and my mother was not alive. So I'm gonna walk you through that. I'm gonna walk you through this what if scenario so that you have a better understanding of my situation. And you're not getting it from some fucking troll on YouTube. You're getting it from me, right? You're getting it straight from the horse's mouth with no filter, all right? No filters, all right? First, let's go with the scenario of what happened not long after me and Mom got down here. Me, Mom, and Dad. All right. Dad started getting blockages in his arteries. Okay. Started getting blockages in his arteries. And some of them were complete blockages. Some of them were partial blockages. And he had to go under the knife like 2 or 3 times for these blockages in his arteries, right? So, it's interesting that they actually left blockages in his body after they had him open. Isn't that interesting? Well, Vaughn, that sounds like medical malpractice. It sure the fuck does, doesn't it? Was anything done? No. Is anything ever going to be done? No. But yeah, it sounds like medical malpractice to me. Right? Did those blockages kill my father? Absolutely. No question in my mind. None. There's no question in my mind. You're free to believe whatever the fuck you want. But I believe those one of those blockages was 100%, guys. And another one was 75. And they left them in his body. They didn't go in there with the balloons and open them up. I wonder why. Why is that? Inquiring minds want to know. But isn't it interesting that despite my concerns, because I had concerns, I said, don't bring the frost down here. Whatever you do, do not bring the frost down here. And of course, my mom broke her fucking neck getting them down here. Isn't it interesting that not long after the frost got down here, Mom and Dad split? A bunch of fucking rumors got started about Ohio. And my parents actually split apart. After 50 fucking years of marriage, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my parents get a divorce. And it didn't happen until the frost got down here. But I'm sure that's just a coincidence, right, guys? Right, guys? That's just a coincidence. Come on now.
If you're just joining, just to recap, Vonhelton's children have told him they don't want to come home. They decided they like it way better, where they get clean clothes, meals, friends, and straight A's in school. Now Vaughn is going to go on a diatribe. Right now it's getting really disgusting because he's openly stating his preference for which parent if it was up to him, his mom would be the one that died. Because he's going to lay out the case that everything that's been wronged in his life has been a result of his mom living and his dad dying. The woman who is actually paying his way through life, folks. Just keep in mind. But anyways, I digress.
Now, don't shout me down when I'm preaching good. Right? Just a coincidence. Just a coincidence that Larry Sester cuts off my heat on the coldest fucking day of winter. Literally takes an axe and chops my gas line in two on the coldest day of winter. And if I hadn't had my orange tabby cat Garfield to wake me up, I'd have been a frozen popsicle. And then when the bastards find out my cat, saved my life, they shot my cat with a high-powered rifle. But I'm sure that's a coincidence too, right, guys? These are all just coincidences, right? Right? Now, who would have the motive to kill me? Who would have the motive to get somebody to kill me? Who would have had that motive? My mother? Was it my mother? It wasn't my dad. That's for damn sure. So was it my mother? Oh, could it have been the frost, maybe? Could it have been the frost, maybe? Makes you wonder. Just saying. Just throwing that shit out there. It's funny how when the frosts get down here, all kinds of hell breaks loose. But that's all just a coincidence, I'm sure. I'm sure there's nothing to it, right, guys? So what if my mother had died and my father was here? would the Frosts have even been allowed to come down here? No, because if I told my dad, hey, I got a bad feeling, don't let them come down here, that would have been the end of the discussion. They would have not come down here under any circumstance. All right. They wouldn't have come down here. That's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. But Larry Sester just walking up and down the street, a free man. Called his company. Hey, did you authorize the cutting of the gas line at I don't know, what was it? Was it 1015 Crane Creek? I can't remember. I don't remember the box number. But anyway.
I love how Vaughn always accuses other people of spreading his docs. He can't imagine how his docs gets out there, folks.
Hey, did you authorize? No, we never authorized shit. We never authorized jack shit. Well, Vaughn, surely your mom called the police and demanded that he be arrested for murder one right then and there. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. No, she did not. And like I said, when they found out that Garfield had saved my life, they shot him with a high-powered rifle and damn near killed him. Because we can't have that evil cat saving this man's life. That's just horrible. Right, guys? Right, guys? But like I said, I'm sure it's all just a big coincidence. Right, guys? Come on. It's just a big coincidence, right? It's all just a big coincidence. Yeah, certainly. So what if my mother had passed and my dad was alive? Would the Frosts have even been allowed down here? Fuck no. Because the second I told my dad, hey, I got a bad feeling, don't let him down here, that'd have been the end of that. Which means Jim Frost wouldn't have stood in my backyard with his hands out like this saying this is all going to be mine. That would have never happened. That scenario would have never occurred. Right? No, it wouldn't have. That scenario would have never happened. No, it wouldn't have. So what if my mother had died and my father was here in her place? Would the Frosts have been able to have influenced my father like they did my mother? No. No, because first of all, they wouldn't have been down here. But even if they were here, they wouldn't have been able to influence him because he would have told him to go fuck off. So when James Arnold Frost come into my mom's double wide and told my mom, hey, you need to arrest Andrea and kick her off the property because she's breaking the law. And mom gets up like a damn robot, grabs the phone, calls the sheriff's office immediately. Deputy sheriff comes out to the house. And he's looking on his computer in the cruiser. And he says, ma'am, I can't find anything wrong. I want her off the property now. I want her off the property now. Starts screaming. She screamed so loud they could hear her all the way down to Rock Castle Church. She was screaming so loud.
Well, Vonhelton leaves out a few important facts. One, it's the woman's property. She can have whoever or remove whoever she wants, including you, at any point. Right? Second, Andrea actually assaulted Ma Helton, like physically, where cops had to get involved. 3, there was a restraining order between Vonhelton and Andrea. So she, by law, wasn't supposed to be there. That's why she got... And when Ma Helton found out that Von smuggled her back in... Yeah. Demon possession. Literally. Where'd that come from? Where'd that come from? Interesting, isn't it? And you wonder why the fuck I wear this 24/7? Really? You really got to wonder? But yeah. And the poor deputy, I felt so sorry for him because he's looking on the computer. He's like, ma'am, there's nothing wrong here. She's not broken any laws. I want her off the property now. I want her off the property now.
Would any of that had happened if my dad was here and my mom wasn't? No, it would have never happened, would it? No. Because when James R. Frost, when he walked in that double wide and he sat on that couch and he turned to my dad and said, kick Andrea off the property, Dad would say, fuck you, you piece of shit. Get the fuck out of my house before I beat your ass. That's what my dad would have said. That's what my daddy would have said. So would I even be divorced right now? No. No, I would not. And when good old Warren L. Mason made his video, Dear Vonhelton and Andrea, I'd have told my dad, I said, hey, I got somebody on the internet harassing the fuck out of me. Dad would have hired the best lawyer available, and Mr. Mason would have been in jail probably a week or at least a month later, if not sooner. That shit would have happened. He would have been in jail. Larry Sester would have been in jail. Anybody that fucked with his son would have been in jail because Dad would have spared no expense to make sure it happened. And since we're on the subject of sparing no expense, Andrea and my children would have been spoiled rotten because that's how Daddy was. He would have spoiled them rotten. Andrea would never have wanted for anything. So when these dumb fucks back here are telling her, oh yeah, man, you're just so mistreated. You're being treated like shit. You know, Andrea would have said, fuck you. His daddy treats me awesome, which he would have. He would have. She would have never wanted for nothing. She'd have been spoiled rotten. Kids would have been spoiled rotten. I'd have had my 6th kid by now, which is what we wanted. We wanted 6 children. CPS would, if CPS
6 children, folks. This is interesting because this actually goes way back. Apparently, he told Mouse, because he looked at it as like an actual binding contract, a stipulation of the marriage, that she owed him 6 children. Whether she later decided, 4 is enough or 3 is enough, how many kids do we got to neglect around here? I mean, we got enough kids we can neglect, right? But no, he was of the mind that if she did not provide or could not provide 6 children, then everything was null and void and he was off the hook. This is his philosophy. This goes back to the North Dakota chick. And if you're new to Vonhelton, yes, he has a child that's actually grown now that he's never paid a cent for. He admits to trying to get the woman pregnant at least 3 occasions. When she did get pregnant, he denied it and wouldn't. Anyways, that's another story. The point is with Andrea, it's he actually, that's why one of the reasons he was smuggling her back in, actually, because if anybody was following during the whole, I waved a gun at you incident, the video I have on my channel, right, where Andrea actually admits to the gun being waved in her face and him threatening her and shit, that's when she came back. He brought her back and she was medicated, and there's a theme with Vaughn and medication, right, that keeps coming up. That's really interesting as well. But she was medicated and not of sound mind, literally drooling on camera at points. And he fessed up later, after this whole incident went down and she was removed from the property and everything, that he was convinced she was sterile because he was trying to knock her up while she was still out of it. And when he was convinced she was sterile, he wanted nothing more to do with her. As far as he's concerned, he still owed 3 more kids. This is Vonhelton logic, folks.
yes, did try anything, my dad would have fucking owned their ass in court. He would have owned them. He would have fucking owned them. Of course, CPS would have never gotten involved because the first time anybody called CPS, Dad would have found out who that person was and got him arrested and thrown in jail. He wouldn't have put up with their shit. None of this shit would be happening right now because my dad would have made sure it never happened. Isn't it funny that my mother hasn't done shit to defend her son in this whole scenario? Not once. Isn't that interesting? Gee, I wonder why. This whole goddamn scenario, not one time did Alice Helton defend her son against anyone. Anyone. No one. But I'm sure that's just a coincidence. Right, guys? Right, guys? That's just a coincidence? Isn't that just a coincidence? Yeah. Yeah, of course. That's what they'll say. Oh, it's just a coincidence, Vaughn. It's just a coincidence that we keep your kids for 3 fucking years, and then now all of a sudden the kids don't want to come home. But that's just a coincidence, right? Yeah, it's just a coincidence. Do you think Jim Frost would have the ability to run around this whole fucking goddamn state of Kentucky telling them, oh yeah, I'm related to Mr. Vonhelton's daddy? Well, oh, wait, no, he couldn't do that, could he? He wouldn't have been able to have done that, would he? Because my daddy was a Helton and he was a Frost. There's no way he could have made that claim. Isn't that right? Don't shout me down when I'm preaching good. So he wouldn't have been able to obtain an illegal POA and go up there and clean out daddy's bank account because daddy's not related to him in any way, shape, or form. So he wouldn't have been able to use that excuse, would he? No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't have. So daddy would have still had his money. I'd have still had my inheritance. Larry wouldn't have my daddy's SSI because my daddy would have told him, fuck off and die. You ain't getting shit. But isn't it interesting? So yeah, let's play what if. What if daddy was here and my mother wasn't? Would any of this shit be happening right now? No. No, it wouldn't. Not one thing. Not the trolls, not the Frost, not CPS. None of it would be happening right now. None of it. None of it. None of it would be happening. Because the Frost wouldn't be able to run all over the state of Kentucky. That's my daddy. No, they wouldn't be able to say that shit, would they? No. No, they wouldn't. Isn't that interesting how that works? Isn't that interesting? But yeah, let's play what if. Let's do that. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with playing what if. Well, Vaughn, are you saying that if you had a chance to get your daddy back, you would take it? Yes, in a heartbeat. Yes, in a heartbeat. If I had a chance to go back in time and swap my daddy for my mommy, would I do it? Yes, in a heartbeat. Because in the 20 or plus years,
wow,
not one time has my mother defended her son against anyone or anything.
Except that she's paid your whole way through. The very trailer you're sitting in was not bought by you didn't pay for that. You don't pay for any. You have no income. Like, what the hell? But it's about Vaughn, right? See, that's the tragedy here. It's not that the kids are... He's actually mad that the kids are doing better. Because poor Vaughn, what's he left with? Right? Why do they get... and he doesn't? Right? And if only his mom died... because it's all her fault. She doesn't do shit except for, provide a place for him to live and a freezer full of food and babysitting services of the kids so he can do his live streams and, all that stuff.
Not one time.
Huh.
Not once.
Well.
But I'm sure that's just a coincidence. Right, guys? Huh? Isn't that what they're going to claim? It's just a coincidence, Mom. It's just a coincidence that in 20 plus years, she never once defended her son against anything or anyone. Isn't that amazing? The more you know, the more you grow. Reading Rainbow. Geordie LaForge, the guy that played on Star Trek, right? Yeah. Reading Rainbow, Geordie LaForge. Mr. LeVar Burton. Yeah. The more you know, the more you grow. But yeah, the Frost wouldn't be able to run around, oh, that's my aunt. Now, they wouldn't be able to say that shit if my daddy was here and mom was gone, would they? No, they wouldn't. And they sure as hell wouldn't have been able to clean out her checking account, or daddy's checking account. They wouldn't have been able to stole the money out of the daddy's house because Daddy would have said, you ain't doing shit to my house. Right? Well, Daddy wouldn't have had the money in the closet in the first place, because Daddy would have listened to his son and would have took that money and put it in the bank. Okay, it wouldn't have been in the closet. Oh, and since we're on the subject of the double wide, let's address that too. Would Daddy be living in the double wide right now? No.
Oh, he's going there.
Daddy would be here in this single wide, and me and Andrea and our 6 children would be in that double wide.
Just as he deserves, folks.
Because that's how my daddy was. That's how my daddy was. He was always a giving soul. He believed in giving. My daddy would be in the single wide, and me and Andrea and my 6 children would be in the double wide. And
here's a crazy idea. If you want to have a wife and 6 kids and lots of space and a yard, why don't you fucking get it? Your mother, who's 94 years old, who pays for everything, wants to, like, spend her golden years in the double wide. Who the fuck cares? If you don't like it, you know, beggars can't be choosers here, Vonhelton. It's your choice to live in this fucking dank FEMA trailer and let your kids shit down the fucking heat vents, and, you know, like, it's fucking ridiculous. It's just absolutely fucking ridiculous. I mean, are we surprised? Anybody that's been watching? But this video encapsulates the absolute douchebaggery and how just completely apathetic he is to his fucking own family. Because he's the victim and he should be getting something. Where's his, folks? Where's his?
we would be thriving quite well, thank you very fucking much. The trolls would be in jail. CPS would be non-existent, because CPS would have been told, get the fuck off the property or we're going to sue the fuck out of Clay County. Right? And believe me, my dad had the ability to do that. Okay. So yeah, hey, I'm more than happy to play What If. I'm more than happy. But see, the thing of it is, the frost wouldn't even have been allowed down here to begin with. Because as soon as I told Daddy I got a bad feeling about it, which I did, I'm being honest. I told my mother well in advance, before she ever brought him down here. I said, no, I got a bad feeling. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't bring him down here. I got a bad feeling. Yeah, well, my bad feeling was 100% justified, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Well, my daddy would have never allowed him down here in the first damn place. All right. They'd have never been allowed down here. And all the shit that was happening online, Dad would have took care of that. Like I said, Mr. Mason would have found himself in a jail cell that fucking quick. Funny how my mother never defended me against anyone, either locally or on the internet for that matter. I wonder why.
Why would your elderly mother ever feel the need? In fact, the only time she did make an appearance on the internet is when you pushed her delusional fucking dementia ass on camera and exploited her. Like you pushed your kids on camera to testify that time. Like, it's disgusting. Like, this guy is just not a good person. I don't get why people just fucking keep making excuses for this piece of shit. Like, what the fuck is it? God damn.
Anybody wanna take a stab at that one? 20 plus years. Not one time did my mother defend her son against anyone or anything. Not one time. But I'm sure it's all just a big coincidence. Right, guys? Right? Isn't that what they're going to claim? Oh, yeah. It's just a big coincidence. You know, Von's exaggerating. Right? Oh, hey.
I think Von just changed his name because he wanted to be cool, and he's just that. Listen, Vonhelton is the guy, like when he was a kid, and they would bring him to like a family Christmas dinner or something. He's a fucking asshole, demanded that they order him McDonald's or something because he just wouldn't eat. That's Vonhelton. That's all I got to. Why he actually changed his name, he has a whole story about it, but it's fucking stupid. I think he just thought James Paul Vonhelton sounded cool.
Yeah. When Millie and Marcia come in here and trash my house while I'm in bed with the chills, sick, and told my eldest daughter, right on the wall, I'm hungry, that scenario would have never happened. It would have never happened because the frost wouldn't have been down here to begin with. Right? Yeah. They'd have never been down here to begin with. So that scenario where they trash my apartment, listen at me, where they trash my trailer, that would have never happened. It would have never happened. Which means the video would have never been on YouTube. Which means people would have never got a negative opinion of me and say, oh, well, look how shitty Von's house is. Oh, they don't tell you I was sick in bed with the chills when they did that. Oh, they conveniently leave that part out. Isn't that amazing? They don't tell you that they told my eldest daughter to write on the wall, I'm hungry, and then they took fucking pictures of it. They conveniently leave that information out, don't they? Yeah. Isn't that interesting? So would that scenario have even happened? No, because the frost wouldn't have been here. They would not have been here. And like I said, me and Andrea and the kids would have been in a double wide any damn way. We wouldn't even be in this single wide trailer. My dad would, because that's how he was. He was a giving person. And he was cognizant of the fact that he's one person, and me and Andrea and 6 children are 8 people. I had to think there for a second for some reason. Well, it's almost 4 o'clock in the fucking morning, so that's why. But yeah, that's how Daddy was. So what if my daddy was here and my mother had not been? Well, my whole life would be completely different right now.
What a ghoul. What a ghoul. It's just like when he lumps in how his gods have struck down his enemies, and he'll like name like fucking, which is completely tasteless, right? But he'll name like these YouTube people. He includes his fucking adopted sister. She died a few years ago. He includes her in the list of people that his gods have struck down for him because he saw her as competition for the inheritance. Because he used to argue she wasn't technically blood, so she shouldn't get anything. And then when she went to the hospital and died, he rubbed his hands together in glee, tugged at his little pube beard, his little fucking failure to thrive beard, and slicked his fucking long fingernails through his greasy rat fucking hair. And he has taken joy in his own sister dying, folks.
Yeah, it would. It'd be completely different. It would be completely different. Because none of the shit that's happening right now would be happening. Did I mention when I first come down here, I stupidly went back to Christianity like a dumbass? Did I mention that part? And that I didn't revert back to paganism until everything started to fall apart? I didn't mention that part, did I? Conveniently left that out. Excuse me, I shouldn't have done that. Because, I mean, hell, everybody down here is a Southern Baptist, so, it makes sense for me to be a Christian. Right? It makes sense for me. I'll give it one more try. I'll give the Christian God one more try.
So this is, how far can you go? Now, he's went through internet trolls, governmental agencies, the school, the frost, and even blamed his mom for living. For everything that's been wrong in his life. So where else does he have to go? Folks, it's God's fault. God didn't live up to his expectation. But what's even crazier is that he confesses that he believes the Christian God is real and alive. So he doesn't deny the Christian God's existence. It just didn't do good enough for Vonhelton. Didn't give enough for Vonhelton. So God too is responsible. Folks, I made a hangout years ago, and I still pull clips from it, called Even God Trolls Vonhelton. Folks, folks, please thumbs up the video. I'd appreciate it.
And everything went to shit, didn't it? It's like, well, I should have never went back to Christianity in the first place. Should have stayed a fucking pagan. And then that's when I came up with the novel idea. Hey, maybe I ought to just, say, fuck this shit, clean my head, clean my heart, clean everything out of my thoughts and processes, and then just approach the gods of creation and say, okay, what the fuck do you want? Which is what I did. My mother was a professing Christian, by the way. Still is. Jim Frost down the road here is a professing Christian. Larry Frost is a professing Christian. As far as I know, Ronnie, Ray, Millie, and Marcia are also professing Christians. As far as I know. They are. Yeah. That really shocked. When I told G-Man and Brett Keane that the people down here that are harassing me were Christians, they were shocked to hear that information. Because they figured it was atheists, like what I'm experiencing on the internet, right? No. These are Christians. These are Southern Baptist Christians, to be more precise. Isn't that amazing? And like I said, when I first come down here, I want to give the Christian God one more try, one more chance. And then everything went to shit, didn't it? Yeah, it did. Yes, it did.
Oh, it's worked out so much better since, hasn't it, Vaughn?
Yes, it did. Well, anyway, that's my what if story. How did you like it? What do you think about it? I can't wait to see the comments after this video processes, because I'm curious to know if the trolls really understood what they've done. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm willing to admit, okay, let me get this out. I'm willing to admit that some trolls did not realize what they did. I'm willing to admit that. But some of them did. Did I tell you that I got an email saying that my wife would be raped by a black man on a Greyhound bus? And that I got that email 1 month before that thing happened?
Now, first of all, this email is obviously bullshit, but I want to clear the air. She didn't get raped on a Greyhound bus. She got caught fucking a guy on a Greyhound bus. There's a major difference here, folks.
I need G-Man. Someone get a hold of G-Man now.
R. Azrael donated $5 through Super Chat. Vaughn's pantheon is full of trickster gods who all use Vaughn for their entertainment.
It really is the only answer. I can't think of a better one. I mean, if his nameless gods truly do exist, he must be the foil of their. I don't get it. But thank you very much.
Did I tell you that? 1 month before it happened, I got an email saying, Vaughn, your wife is going to be raped on a Greyhound bus by a black man. And I got that email 1 month prior to the incident actually occurring. Did I mention that? I can't remember if I mentioned that or not. So what is really going on?
Yeah, I know you noticed that too, right? Oh, hamburgers. It's like, the gods, they included 2 details that were very important, folks. His wife was getting raped, and it was by a black man. Not the name of the person, or how to prevent it, or, I'm just saying.
You tell me. What really is going on?
The email,
there's
folks.
There's a whole fucking lot going on.
Who sent that email?
Isn't there? Yeah. Yeah, there is. Yes, there is. There's a whole lot going on. And like I told you the story, back when I was living on Sherman Avenue on the east side of Hamilton, Ohio. And I get visited by 2 Luciferian Satanists who come there and their face is white as a ghost and they're saying, we didn't do it. And I'm saying, didn't do what? We didn't kill your 2 boys. We didn't do it. And I said, okay, fine. Who did? The Christian God, Jehovah. Oh, really now? Really now? Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? But anyway, I just thought
he always just tells that much to the story. Like, to me, it just seems there's got to be so much more to that story. Like, who are these Luciferians? How exactly did they know Vaughn? I mean, we can patchwork it kind of together through other stories he used to tell back then. But I mean, and how would they know, that the Christian God did it? And why would Vaughn believe them? I mean, there's just so many questions, folks. Folks, so many questions.
you might like my little what-if scenario. And like I said, I can't wait to read the comments. See what you all think. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to thumb up my video. Even though you won't see it, thumb it up anyway. The reason I have the thumbs up and thumbs down hidden is because the trolls love to see their actions in real time, and I'm depriving them of that luxury. But if you continue to thumb up my video, it will be recorded in my analogs. Okay? So yes, please thumb up my video, even though you don't get to see it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that good shit. And then that way the algorithm will see my videos.
Yeah, make sure to thumbs up his video where he's actually stating the case that his life would be better if his mother, who has supported him his whole life, was dead. And he had control of everything. So thumbs that up, folks.
Yes, there's a lot of archdemons and evil spirits and all kinds of shit out there. There's all kinds of nasty shit out there. Shit that people don't understand. People that don't, you tell them something, they're like, oh, that can't be true. You're making that up, Vaughn. You're exaggerating, Vaughn. That shit can't be true. Well, I'm sorry, but it is. In fact, truth is stranger than fiction. Feel free to Google that phrase. Feel free to Google that. So, anyways, that's 357. 357 Magnum. Interesting. Yeah, and where is my guns, by the way? Oh, when I pull my drawer open down here, I don't see my pistols. I see a bunch of Mom's government documents. Well, where the hell did they come from? Interesting, isn't it? Instead of seeing my guns down there, I see a bunch of Mom's government documents that were taken out of her home years ago. And now they've suddenly materialized in my drawer down here where my guns used to be. But I'm sure that's a coincidence too. Right, guys? Right? It's all just one big coincidence, right? Right, guys? Come on now. Come on. Don't shout me down when I'm preaching good. It's all just one big coincidence. Right? Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Yeah. Indeed. Indeed. I was over at Mom's. I forget now why I was over there, pilfering around. Because at the time, she was lucid, right? She hadn't been doped up with drugs given to her by a judge under court order. So she was still lucid.
See, Vaughn blames her state of mind on her medication, which I'm sure has some has some implications, right? But he leaves out the whole point that she's on medication is because she's on a downward spiral. Like her mental health. Like we've watched her in videos, folks, ask if her daddy is still alive. Like she's not lucid. But see, Vonhelton, again, if you're new, Andrea made allegations that he kept medication from her. Mostly, I think, back then to keep her thin, because he knew she would chunk up on the medication, and that was no good to Vonhelton. 2, there was allegations that Vonhelton was responsible for his mom's medication disappearing, and when he was accused of it, it showed back up. That was 2 different Frosts told that story, so, you know, take that with whatever grain of salt you want, but that's what the allegation is. 3, apparently the Frosts had to take over most of the duties concerning Ma, both financially and medically, because Vonhelton just wasn't taking her to her appointments and getting her prescriptions filled. He let the phone bill get out of hand apparently too. Now, this could be backed up by the fact that even by Vonhelton's own admission, the court has recognized members of the Frost family as her guardian, like looking after these things, because Von was incompetent and couldn't do it, or wouldn't do it. Now, what does Von have to gain by his mother not being medicated? Think about that. Think about that, folks.
And so I'm over there helping her with something, I forget now. And as I'm coming back out of her double wide, I see Junior taking off out of my house down the road. It's like, what the fuck's that all about? What was he doing in my house?
Now, just so you know, Von lives back off the road, so this Junior guy, to get to the road, would probably literally have to walk right by where he was in his ma's. Like, if you saw some dude walking out of your house right by you, wouldn't you just ask him, what the hell are you doing? And notice Von didn't say he had guns on him. Just saying.
So I come in, I thought he had stolen my damn computer shit. No, all my computer shit was still here. It's like, that's interesting. But I go down here and I open up my gun drawer. My guns are gone. And Mom's government documents from her house are in their place. Isn't that interesting? But like I said, I'm sure that's just a big coincidence, right? Because, I mean, hey, criminals carry around government documents all the time, right, guys? Right, guys? Criminals carry government documents around all the time. Isn't that true? Huh? Well, don't they? Yeah. That's what they say. That's what they say, right? Yeah. And the funny thing about it is that if Dad had lived and Mom had died, none of this would be happening. None of it.
Wow.
None of it.
Yep, there it is, folks. He's a piece of shit.
So one has to wonder, what's really going on here? Well, Vaughn, it sounds like the Christian God really fucked you over big time. Wow, you think? You think? Destroyed my first marriage, left me in abject poverty, killed my 2 children. Then when I get down here and I give God, the Christian God, another chance, then I lose my other fucking marriage. All hell breaks loose.
Well, he was a pagan when he was with Andrea. Now, there was a brief stint where she turned to Christianity, and he promised he would, but that never happened. So I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Got people trying to kill my ass. Maybe the problem is the Christian God. Just throwing that out there. Just giving that a thought, or 2 or 3. Anyway, that's an hour and 30 minutes. I think I've taken up enough of your time. I hope you enjoyed this little what if. I will enjoy reading your comments later on. Don't forget to thumb me up.
Oh, folks, don't forget to go over to Von's video. I want to be fair, the original video, What If, Light Worker Vonhelton, and make sure you leave your comments. I encourage you to go and leave your thoughts and opinions. And feel free to express yourself any way you see fit over on his channel. Let's give this video some views. Let's do it, folks. Thumbs up this video, though, please.
Get the like, subscribe, all that good shit.
All that good stuff.
And
folks.
don't forget to check out my BitChute page, which has my latest video. I was right.
One today. Jason Avocado says it that way.
David Campbell donated 20 Canadian dollars through Super Chat. For draining Lake Alice, I'm just behind on the feed a bit and wanted to wish all the happy fathers after hearing the great news about the kids.
Oh, here. Thank you very much. And yes, indeed, folks, as we stated at the beginning, should be stated again and many times, Happy Father's Day. And I hope you're having a better one. If you are a decent father, even by any standard, decent. If you are at least decent father, I hope you are having a much better Father's Day than Vonhelton apparently is having. Thank you very much, sir.
Number 65, where I completely and utterly destroy atheism once and for all. Atheism once and for all has been completely destroyed. And it was my video, I was right, 65. It's on BitChute right now. Go over to BitChute, put Real Vonhelton in there. You'll find me, and you will find my video, and it will blow your mind. It will blow your mind, folks. Yes, it will. All right, that's going to do it for me. Y'all have a pleasant day and a better tomorrow. Bye.
I know that there was one part, folks, that I meant to catch, and I don't know if I was up switching beers or something went, but I meant to catch it, because when he's laying out one of his laundry lists of victimhood, that the Frost, all these tragedies that the Frost, have committed against him, among that, he slips and says, Larry took control of this, that, and my SSI. And I'm thinking, Larry can't take control of your SSI. He took control of your mom's SSI. I just thought that was an interesting slip that Vonhelton makes in that clip, and I apologize that I missed it. I meant to point that out. But I don't know, folks. But that's all we got. I don't know if that's enough to satisfy. If you're just joining the stream, folks, to recap, you want to go back. It happens pretty early in the video, and he rants for a while about it. Long story short, his children told him that they don't want to come home, that they are doing much better and would much rather stay exactly where they are. So CPS apparently showed up again and gave him another 6-month vacation from being a dad, apparently. It's everybody else's fault. Vonhelton is the victim. His mom should have died, and none of this would have happened. And it's God's fault, too. So that's basically a recap of everything. Oh, yeah, and Vonhelton's a piece of shit. I mean, he really is a shitty fucking person, right to the absolute core. I just, it's like, you pick up an apple, you turn it over and it's rotten and there's a bunch of hornets and fucking shit in it, something like that, crazy. I don't know. Ever been in that situation out in nature? But anyways, that's what Vonhelton is. That's his core. It's angry hornets and fucking rotten garbage and Mountain Dew, encased in Mountain Dew. That's Vonhelton. But folks, yes, just to recap, breaking news this morning, Vonhelton sounds like he's throwing in the towel. No, I didn't see him apparently he was in Brett Keane's crying about his dad. Oh, Jesus. I have to go and check. Oh, Jeebus. I have to go check that out. But for now, I got to get off here, kiddies. I got to get to bed and, go to this dirty 4-letter word these cows seem to avoid. But thank you, everybody, for showing up, watching this. Share it, spread it. I'm sure the news will get out there. But, folks, as we were saying, apparently Vonhelton's children, they're at that age. They've rejected him. They do not want to come home. So, glad I could bring this to you. Till next time, bye-bye.